This is Morning Joe being ambushed. We're going to use the same word, okay? Except he's ambushed with facts, okay? And watch how this exchange looks like on Morning Joe protecting Biden, even though he knew he wasn't doing well, and he keeps trying to dodge it, and the interviewer doesn't stop. Go, Rob, is this the one?
Yeah, so I actually have the clip that he's referencing, if I can play that first and then play this.
Okay, do that. Go for it. Do that, and then we'll go to this. So here's Morning Joe, and then you see the other fellow asking him the questions. Go ahead, Rob.
But comparing that guy's mental state, I've said it for years now, he's cogent. But I undersold him when I said he was cogent. He's far beyond cogent. In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been. Intellectually, analytically.
Oh, my God.
Because he's been around for 50 years. And, you know, I don't know if people know this or not. Biden used to be a hothead. Sometimes that Irishman would get in front of the reasoning. Sometimes he would say things he didn't want to say. This is, and I don't really, you know what, I don't really care. Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth.
Here we go. We started.
And if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever.
Geez.
Not a close second. And I've known him
perfect.
for years.
So
Rob,
you're doing it right for playing this first, Rob. Perfect. Great approach. Now here's the podcast. Go for it.
Well, it was misleading to say best Biden ever without caveating it and say, except on the days when he's not the best Biden ever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but I never saw those days personally.
Well, you did, because you saw him address a dead congresswoman, and you saw him in South Carolina.
The dead congresswoman, yeah.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
more than that. I mean, I can show you. I can show you the RNC clip reels. There were plenty of days in public when he was not the best Biden ever, and of course, shortly after,
he stumbled and bumbled around. Mark, I mean, yeah, he certainly did. Donald Trump did. Other politicians did.
Again, Donald Trump.
But it's actually the same case as a lot of times when I've gone in and talked to Donald Trump. We've gone to Donald Trump, and I've heard the media narrative around Donald Trump, and certainly I've been very critical of Donald Trump. And when I leave, I have a better understanding, just like Jeffrey Goldberg did a couple of weeks ago. I have a better understanding of where Donald Trump is mentally. If Donald Trump is losing it, like, you know, people have said through the years or not. And so again, am I going to look at a clip that's gone viral and pay more attention to that than 2.5, 3 hours I had with a guy one-on-one going around the world? No, I'm just not going to. Are some of the clips bad? Yeah, they certainly are bad. I can understand why people would see that without the context.
What context?
And say that there was a problem with that, especially because I said start rolling your tape right here. You know, it's like, but you know, when I look at that,
does it push him back, Robert? Is he just going to do
on
double
what
talk?
I saw
He just keeps double
based
talking.
on the time,
so he doesn't challenge him anymore from here.
Based on the hundreds of hours,
we can pause it right here. This is one example with him. Okay, then you have another example, but I'll pause right here. I'll go to Adam, and then I'm going to show you what Megyn Kelly does to Jake Tapper. Okay, you have to see. How long is this one, Rob?
3 minutes.
Play the first minute, and I'll go to because they're the same thing. Jake Tapper, Morning Joe. Go for it.
I did ask Joe Biden to be transparent about his health records in an interview in 2020. I did ask him about the fact that voters
but then he wasn't.
thought that he was not transparent at all. No,
he promised you that he would be transparent about his health records, and then he wasn't. And when you sat with him again,
at all,
including 1 month after the Jackie Walorski thing, you didn't ask him about it. You didn't follow up on the fact that he was falling up the stairs, that he was losing his train of thought regularly, that he was slurring, that he was incomprehensible, that he was getting lost on the White House lawn. You sat right across from him and you asked none of that, notwithstanding the fact that he had promised you he would be fully transparent about his health issues. You know as well as I do that there's a way of, you can say, hey, there's this poll on your age, or you could say, you just forgot that Jackie Walorski was dead. You asked where she was moments after watching a videotape tribute to her. You lowered the flags at the White House after she died. This happened 13 days before you sat with him. There is a way of pressing a man like that on the actual infirmities to bring it home to him and to the audience, and you didn't do it. It wasn't just that. I mean, you sat with him a couple of times in the course of his presidency, and these issues were not pressed. Well, there was
No,
at least that time, and then there was the time at the beginning. And but separate and apart from that,
Megyn,
you
Megyn,
covered the
hold on.
Biden's
I sat
presidency.
with-
No. Let me just finish my point.
I'm
You
just saying
covered the
I had
Biden
one interview with
presidency.
him during his. I had one
Okay,
interview
right.
with
And
him
it was
during the
13 days
presidency.
after the Jackie Walorski thing. But you covered the Biden presidency aggressively throughout the 4 years, and you didn't cover mental acuity hardly at all.
You can pause it right now. So this is how I'm going to bring it over to you. So mainstream media hasn't learned their lesson.
Nope.
The internet saw the clip of you guys saying the same exact thing. You're doing it again with Trump now, ambush, and you see his popularity is increasing, yours is decreasing. The governor of New Jersey, it's a left state, has a worse popularity approval rating than Trump does in New Jersey. Go to Rutgers, see what they teach you about Trump. What happened there? What's going on with them? And then now Morning Joe and Jake Tapper, who have been looked at as these incredible journalists, are sitting there being questioned by others, and they don't know how to answer the question. Adam, your thoughts on this?
Let me tell you, this pisses me off more than maybe anything, because this is the reason I became so anti-Trump for many years, because they lied to me. Like, there's nothing worse than thinking that you're on the right side of history, but you've been lied to this whole time. This is why, you joke about that I'm more MAGA than anybody these days. I wasn't MAGA at all. But now I'm definitely MAG. I want to make America great because I've been lied to. Because in 2016, I had a nice situation at work where I started working remote. I made some money. And I was watching Morning Joe every single morning. Why did I watch Morning Joe every single morning? Because I liked the fact that Joe Scarborough was a Republican and Mika Brzezinski was a Democrat, and they had an entire conversation of panels, and they made it seem like it's an open discussion discourse. What I didn't fully realize is this guy hates Trump with every fiber of his being. And that's the biggest problem with a lot of these people, whether it's the Jake Tappers of the world, whether it's the Joe Scarboroughs of the world. They hate Trump so much. Even Megyn Kelly hated Trump because you remember that situation when he had blood coming down. But she at least has come out of TDS and defends the truth. So the question is, talk about the red pill. Would you rather be lied to and people tell you what you want to hear? Or would you rather hear the truth, but people tell you what you don't necessarily want to hear? That's who Trump is. So I fell for it, and I see, I'm like, I see what's happening in real time, where these people are not willing to admit that basically the Walking Dead, Joe Biden, was pulling a weekend at Bernie's, and you defended him like he was completely cogent and cognitive.
First time,
it upsets the hell out of me.
First time Adam and I speak, I go to Miami. Not the first time. When it got to the point where he calls me, says, Pat, I just want to drop everything. I want to come and work with you and run with you. I want to come to Texas. I'm like, you want to do what? He said, I want to come over to Texas. Well, are you okay with that? I'm like, look, take a fly out here. Let us see what's going to happen. He comes down, and he's walking around, and, Adam, one of the most charming, charismatic guys you'll meet. Everybody likes him. And then he leaves. So then I go to Miami, and I meet with him. We're having lunch or something. I don't know where we were at. Then I fly back. By the way, that was a trip that I was shooting some videos. But anyways, that's a whole different thing. I don't want to get into that. Yeah, helicopter thing. And then I fly back, and I call him, and I say, so Adam, it's the interview. How do you feel about Trump? Adam's like, what do you mean? Do you remember this? How do you feel about him? How do you really feel about it? Because you know how I feel about him, but how do you feel about him? Well, I don't know. Watch this clip. This is podcast from 4 years ago.
God.
Okay, go ahead and play this clip, Rob. Watch this.
Sure.
Let me go
And
back
Trump
to the question.
doesn't
Let me
bring
go
that
back
out
to
of
the question
people at all.
For the fifth time. This is where the audience gets upset sometimes because you don't answer questions.
No matter what you
For the
say,
fifth
you're not
time.
going to convince me to vote for fucking Trump. So whatever way you want to pose the question, I'm not going to say you got me.
FYI. That's when you lose people, brother. You can
That's
when you
right
lose
there.
people. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is
And I voted for Trump this time.
But
it took 4 years.
But let me tell you,
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, he may be the biggest supporter now, okay, than anybody in this room. And so, and here's the other part I want to add to this.
It's crazy.
There are a lot of people like Adam. Adam's not a high school dropout. Adam had good grades. Adam went to college. Adam got a degree. Adam, was involved that he followed the news. You drop names, he knows congressmen's names from 30 years ago, he'll drop them. So it's not like he hasn't been following it, but he's the guy that followed mainstream. And it leads to now Jon Stewart calling out Jake Tapper. Rob, if you got this clip, watch this one here. Jon Stewart's not a Trump guy. He cannot stand Trump. Watch Jon Stewart here.
We're back with breaking news in our politics lead and a brand new excerpt from my upcoming book with Axios' Alex Thompson. It's called Original Sin. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. It's on Biden's decline. It's called Original Sin. I'm sure you've heard on May 20th. That's Tuesday. Original Sin. That's coming out in 3 weeks. On May 20th. That's just 19 days away.
Shameless.
1 week and 1 day. Coming out in just a few days. Comes out Tuesday. You will not believe what we found out.
I love this. Watch it.
He looks like Tom a little bit different.
Yeah.
Don't news people have to tell you what they know when they find it out? Isn't that the difference between news and a secret? You won't believe what we found out. No, that's why I'm watching. Breaking news! In a week.
You can pause it, Rob. You can pause
So
it.
let me just say one thing about Jon Stewart. By the way, how much better is The Daily Show with Jon Stewart back?
Obviously.
I know they had the DEI hire, I forget, Trevor Noah, really bad. But they also have other people on that show that are amazingly anti-Trump. Amazingly. Are you familiar with the Asian guy? They have some incredible people there. Jordan Klepper's great. The blonde girl. They have some great people. This guy, Ronnie Chang, right here, horrible, horribly not funny. But here's what they're telling their audience. They say the fact they're talking about the white genocide. We just basically had a conversation about that. He goes, you know how I know there's no white genocide? Because Trump said there was a white genocide. So basically already saying, if Trump said it, don't believe him. That's how he frames the entire conversation. And this is what they think about you if you vote for Trump. Go to the part where they talk about the watch. Like some person got a Trump watch, and it showed up, and the T dropped off, and it said rump, right? And he goes, I'm actually shocked that these people actually even know how to read. That's crazy. Like this is what they think of a voter who votes.
Yeah, we're
for Trump.
deplorables. We're deplorables.
Yeah. So the T dropped off, and they're like, oh my God, where's the T? And then, so it says rump, ha, ha, ha. And he says, I actually didn't even expect them to read. And this is what they're doing. And the last point is this, and just to address exactly what you said.
Keep doing this.
Let me tell you, he said, I truly did not expect them to be able to read because they voted for Trump. Here are the conversations. You know when it hit and like manifested the exact moment where I was like, oh my God, I know I've been lied to, but now I'm already seeing what's going on. Do you remember the Trump Nazi rally in Madison Square Garden?
Yeah.
Right before, this is the famous Tony Hinchcliffe, Puerto Rico. We went to New York. That's when you did your interview with Piers Morgan. And I would hear from all my friends, I can't believe you're in New York. You're supporting Hitler. Unbelievable. I go, okay. The next night, we went to Mar-a-Lago. You were there. We were all there to see the movie, The Man You Don't Know, right?
Yes.
Okay. You guys left a little early. That night, when I tell you it was so pro-Israel, it was so pro-Netanyahu, it was so pro-Judaism, that I went up to Jewish people. I was like, take it down a notch, buddy. We're in America. I'm Jewish, so I'm with you.
Yeah.
But take it down a notch.
Yeah.
Let's be pro-America, pro-allies. Yeah. So I'm telling my friends, arguing with them, Jewish guys, I'm like, you know what? You fell for it, guys. You're exactly who I was 5 years ago. Because I was at Mar-a-Lago, and it was the exact opposite of what they're saying about Nazi rallies. Yeah. You fell for it.
And Pat, question. You've written books. You've written multiple books. And this is, I had this before we saw the Jon Stewart thing. How long does it take to write a book?
It takes a while.
How long do you think it took Jake Tapper, the freaking hack that he is, the BS artist, and that guy to compile everything? Just if you had to say ballpark, how much to compile it, write it, rewrite it, editing, all that? Just give me a time frame.
Well, in a case like this, I know where you're going. So I'm going to say 6 months, but something like this could take 18 months.
18 months, maybe even more.
Yeah.
So he knew, he didn't do anything, and I'm happy that you were saying what you were saying during this. I don't want them to change. I want them to keep doing this ambush shit, keep doing all this Nazi, Hitler,
People
all
are
that.
over it, though.
But I don't want them to start sounding like they're, oh no, we've all changed, we've all adjusted, because the moment these people let their party back in power, every single thing that Trump has done, is going to be undone. And that's why when I say, Pat, they're the enemy, this party, and we have a bunch of stories that we're going to get into with assassinations and all that. This party has lost their freaking mind. They have no morals. They have nothing to stand on. And I don't think they could ever get back into power. Period. Done deal. It's
never
horrible.
say never, man.
I'm saying we shouldn't let them.
No, I get what you're saying.
Give me a policy that they're doing positive.
I get what you're saying. Rob, can you play this? Here's The View reacting to Jake Tapper, and then Tom, I'm going to come to you. And I got something I'm going to show you guys. A show that's going to rival these guys that I want you to tell the world about. And I got a clip of that to show you. Go ahead, Rob.
Why is this important to know now?
Yeah.
Well, that's
Oh, God.
It just seems to me, you know, we got a lot of stuff to be concerned about at the moment.
No accountability.
So I list them?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
here's the Trump's atrocities. I'm going to list them for you.
Nice
Cutting
bedazzled
Medicaid.
Yeah.
Well, this is what we're concerned about now.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Cutting Medicaid, slashing funding for cancer research.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Rising prices because of tariffs. Dismantling USAID, which helps children and people who are poor around the world.
Yeah.
Fears of recession, destroying due process, ending birthright citizenship, dismantling the Department of Education, rolling back regulations on air and water quality, destroying our relationships with allies like Canada and the UK, and targeting his political opponents.
Preach.
And that not only that, but he also said that Joe Biden has stage 9 cancer. Oh, really? Where did he come up with that? When
he had a
Jake
Gleason score of
Tapper
9.
Going to write a book about the cognitive decline of the person who is in charge right now.
Oh, yeah. Woo! You're so cool.
No.
Oh,
Tom,
my
your
God.
thoughts.
I wasn't as extreme as watching this ridiculous show, but I understand why people fall for their
it's
nonsense.
Incredible. Joy Behar died 2 years ago. No one told her. You know, what's interesting is they're going to lose their megaphone. They're losing their megaphone right now. And to Vinny, I'll tell you, it's very ironic. We were just talking about The Daily Show, and there was something that John said at the end of that clip, far at the end, that I watched last night. It was interesting, Pat. He says, and why am I paying $30 to read in a book what you should have told me 3 years ago for free?
Yeah,
Wow.
If you go find that, there's a quote from John Stewart where he says, free, and why am I buying a book when 3 years ago you should have told me for free? So, but remember, Adam, you'll remember this because I know you were up on media in this. Remember when the people started doing surveys and they found out, hey, did you know that some of these Gen Xs are getting their news from The Daily Show more than they get it from regular news sources?
Yeah, of course.
Remember when those first things came out?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? It's a tsunami, and we are causing it. This podcast, what we're doing is causing this. Check this out. The shift in cable as people get to Hulu and they go online and they don't even get cable anymore, you know, the Gen Zs, Vinny, they don't even buy cable. So guess what? All the old cable going away, and with it, the unprofitable news. Versant. You know what Versant is? It's a company being spun out of Comcast and NBC. And what are they putting in it? USA, Oxygen, MSNBC, and CNBC. Weird. And CNBC, they say, is the only real jewel because of the way it covers business and it's actually a profitable point in there, and it doesn't have a bunch of hosts with $10 million salaries. Well, get this. It's being spun out as a thing called Versant. And now David Zaslav, after he has lost NBA was on Turner for how many decades? And they've lost that. NFL Sunday Ticket has gone to YouTube TV. The ice is melting below the feet of the cable empire. And people are turning for their news elsewhere. And David Zaslav has got to take Turner and CNN and spin them out and sell them at a garage sale. And David Faber caught a whisper. He's
I know somebody that'd be interested if it was a garage sale number.
Ready for this? CNN, this is David Faber was talking. There's an article that's written this, and then there was a attributed quote that they won't put the name on. So they said there's a direct quote, won't put the name on. This is a high-level media executive in the U.S. Zaslav has no choice. He has to spin it out, and he has to keep CNN in the basket because the rest of the basket's worthless. CNN, quote, will be orphaned without any real investment or future. I see no future in it, personally. So what they're talking about...
I do, with the right owner.
Yes, I
do.
I agree with that. But the point is, with their current economics, why are they cutting everybody's salary? Because the viewership's down. Why is the viewership down? You're putting out the wrong product. If the product was different, it would be different.
Let me show you something. With all the frustration people have with The View, a lot of people were talking. We took action. We came up with a new show called Her Take. We have the next episode that's going out tomorrow, 11 o'clock. Folks, if you want to see another show rival The View and compete against it, watch this preview of tomorrow's episode that's coming out. Real debate. These are real people debating and pushing and challenging each other. Just support it. We want this thing to get to 1 million subscribers. Watch this clip here. Go ahead, Rob.
I will call that MFR out.
Then girl, why were you raising money for Biden then?
Watch this.
Because I need to understand. I just told you.
No. I know you get real angry when people ask you that question, but you need to answer it. Don't yell at me. No. Do you understand English? I just said I do. You're lying, though.
Do you really think that we can trust Iran?
Yes.
We allow them to...
We had
I don't trust Iran.
I know,
with
but
a government.
Who cares? We deal with
Saudi Arabia and
Exactly.
monsters. After 9/11, I wanted to bomb the crap out of Iraq. When is American policy no longer made in America? Why are we doing this?
Because it has no
fiery
effect on
tomorrow.
any American's life. Who cares?
Because
women
and
they don't march
Who's
either.
the leader?
Naked and shot
Okay,
in the
Julian,
head.
why is the leader?
It doesn't affect any
I
American's life.
agree with Ann.
We're all human here, guys.
Wait, but why is that a responsibility? Why do we need to be the sheriff of the entire world?
We're so overrun here in America due to the illegal immigration.
All right.
How are we meant to go and police on another place?
There's something else.
Shout out to Jillian Michaels.
The fact that they're not agreeing on every single thing
Is why it's a real show.
Oh, thank
Rob,
God.
can you put the link below in the description? Guys, do me a favor.
God.
Please go support this show. We want The View to react to something that these guys are talking about because the direction America wants to go to is this direction. They want to see these types of discussions where people are sitting there arguing with each other, debating with each other, and you get to see both sides of the story. If you want to see us take this thing even to more active show, maybe even soon do a live show with live audience attendance, go support the channel and subscribe to it. There's something about family, right? There's something about family, beautiful families, people you love. This story is sent to me yesterday.
Okay.
It says, I'm 85 years old, and somehow I woke up in my 36-year-old body, okay? Just for one day. This time, I knew what to treasure. Let's go to the next one. So she's 85 years old, wakes up in 36-year-old body. I hear a tiny voice before I open my eyes. Mama, wake up. I blink. He's standing there. Bedhead, pajama, pants too short. My little boy. He's small again. Go to the next one. He climbs into my bed, laughing. He wraps his arm around my neck. I used to check the clock, rush the morning, but not today. Today I hold him. Tight, long, and deep. Go next. I walk to the mirror. No gray, no wrinkles, no aches in my knees. Just me, 36, tired, but strong. Go ahead, Rob. My husband is in the kitchen making coffee. He smiles when he sees me. Younger, softer, so familiar. I wrap my arms around him. This time, I don't let go quickly. We used to rush past each other. Today, I hold him close and whisper, thank you. The kitchen floor is sticky. Lego underfoot, socks on the counter. I used to sigh, feel behind, get frustrated, but now I stand still and just soak it all in. My little son chatters all through breakfast, stories about superheroes and questions about monsters. This time I listen, really listen, no phone, no distractions, just him, all his beautiful, curious voice. In the car, he sings loudly, kicks the seat, spills a snack. I used to snap, now I smile and enjoy the moment because one day the seat will be empty and I'll miss the noise. In the evening, I pick up the phone and I hear my mom's voice. Tears fill my eyes before I said a word. I forget how much comfort lives in her voice. We talked about nothing, the weather, what she is cooking, but it means everything. I tell her I love her again and again. I don't want to hang up. At bedtime, I didn't rush. He picks his favorite superhero book, the one I've read 100 times. Tonight, I read every single word slowly. And then I ask, one more? He nods. I don't want this night to end. He whispered, you're the best mom. I hold his small hand, kiss his soft cheek, whisper how proud I am. His lashes flutter, his chest rises and falls, and I just watch, soaking it in. Tomorrow, I will be 85 again, and he will be grown. Busy, bigger, out in the world. But tonight, I got this precious moment, and now I know this was joy, this was love, this was everything. If you're living in the moment now, don't rush through it. The little hand in yours, the bedtime stories, the mess, the noise, it all matters more than you know. When you read a story like this, man.
Jesus, Pat. I mean, you want to start us off by crying? I got to call my mom.
Freaking Rob's a mess.
Mom, I love you.
Tom's a mess. Everybody's.
Let me tell you.
The fact that Tom isn't actually crying right now, he is. No, I see it.
I read this.
I appreciate you, Tom.
I'm reading this video last night. And you know what's crazy? You guys sent me this video last night with, this lady that hit the ICE agent, and she's singing this song, right? I know it's going to make no sense, but if you play this here, I'm going to tell you how all this matches up together. Go ahead and play this.
You are now facing a federal charge, though. Are you afraid of what's going to transpire now?
Here.
You fight on,
you fight on, really quickly.
You fight on, you fight on. When your government is doing.
So, I'm in
How
the
does
car.
she not respond?
Let me tell you what happened. Tico yesterday, school's coming to an end, so they're doing swimming and all this stuff. So he's been out in the sun for 8 hours. His body is red, so he can't put a shirt on. And we have this aloe that you put, but it's old. So I take him to Publix, and that's the moment you send it. So I'm playing this. He said, "What is she doing?" I said, "Watch, I'm going to sing it in Publix in front of everybody for you." We're in the Publix. Tico gets embarrassed. I am screaming this song off the top of my lungs. And he is hugging. You know how he pushes like to not do anything? We had the most incredible 30-minute drive, going there, fooling around, bought some carrot juice, finally found the aloe. I asked this lady, I need some aloe gel. The lady takes me and gives me coconuts and aloe. I said, I didn't say I want coconut. I want aloe, the gel, right? We come back, we're laughing. Then we're in the house. We're sitting there, he's showing me all this stuff from Stranger Time, whatever that show. Stranger Things. The show is like, and he's like, but this and this. And I'm like, dude, I really don't want to hear this stuff. And I'm just listening to him say the stories. And we're in bed, it's 10:15, 10:30. He's still talking about, Tico, you got to go to sleep. Then I go to my bed. Then Jennifer gives me this. I read this. The moment I read it, I get up. I'm like, dude, I got to go. She's like, where are you going? I go back to Tico. I said, finish your story about Stranger Things. What was it? And he sits up, dude. He was so excited to tell me all about it. And he says, will you watch it with me when we go for vacation and all this other stuff? Is that not awesome, bro? Like when you get some messages like this that inspire the hell out of you and just kind of, we're 46, 47, Vinny. The famous line.
Yeah, we're going to be in 20 minutes.
We're going to wake up tomorrow.
This thing called family is so awesome.
Yep.
But it's going to go by so quick, man. It's going to go by so quick. And it's so weird because I had no intentions of showing this to you guys. But, for me, we're sitting there, we're thinking about, we have the Vault conference that's coming up. We do this once a year. This year, we're expecting 12,000 people there. Last year, we had 1,500 husbands and wives that were there. And one of the things the guys, the David consultant, they say a lot of people ask about, how to balance this with family and the kids and all this other stuff. How do you do this? I said, listen, why don't we just do this? Why don't we just do a free webinar on family, how to be a killer in business without killing your marriage. And I said, I'm going to talk about all the mistakes I've made, okay? And we're going to talk about how we balance all this stuff together. So that picture they put together, for some of you guys that think that's really me with all those hands, it's not. Like it's just a great job. Shout out to our guys at Graphic Design. Rob, if you want to play the clip, go ahead and play the clip. You know what's scary for some people is they want to be a killer in business. They want to do a great job as an executive, as a CEO, entrepreneur, business owner, but they don't want to kill their marriage. So how do you balance that out? You want to go make all the money, travel, win for your family, but you want to stay married. You want to have good relation with your kids. You want your kids to still want to see. How do you do this? There's 4 things, by the way. You ready? Write these down. Number 1, you're allowing your family and friends make you feel guilty for your vision, which is going to create resentment towards them. You don't want that. Number 2 is you lack clarity around the vision. You don't really know what you're doing it for. So work-life balance is a question that comes up for people that are not clear of what they want to do. They haven't had the conversation with their family. Number 3 is the concept of being intentional with the time you're spending with your family. And number 4 is maybe you're just looking for an excuse to not work that hard because your family's not bothering you. You're just looking for it. This concept of work-life balance comes up every single day with people who ask me this question. On June 11th, I'm hosting a free webinar for 1 hour to talk about work-life balance with the people that don't have the answer to the questions there, just like I didn't have it at that time. I'm married now with 4 kids, running all these businesses. Some days you feel like you don't know what the hell you're doing. All I'm gonna do is share with you mistakes I've made and things that are working for me. So if it's important to you, get registered, tell your wife, your husband, get everybody on together to listen up. We're gonna go through it for 1 hour again on June 11th. Register because it's limited seating on this webinar. I'll see you there. Come join us, guys. June 11, 12:30. Put it in your calendar. By the way, I may have my wife and one of my kids maybe join me as well. Rob, what is the website for them to go register for this free webinar?
VTwebinar.com.
VTwebinar.com. We have limited to 3,000 seats, so just make sure you go get registered. Again, VTwebinar.com.
Can I say one thing about this?
Of course.
Because you've done how many webinars? I mean, the last.
I've done a lot of webinars,
Yeah.
but we've never done a webinar on this. This has been coming up a lot the last 6
In
to
my
12
opinion,
months.
based on the conversations I have with everyone out there, this actually might be the most important webinar you've ever done.
I'm in the process of figuring it out. I'm in the process of learning this stuff, but I can't wait to have this one with you guys.
Well, you know the secret.
We're going to have a lot of fun with this. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.